We are in a world in which money as we know it is in jeopardy. We are printing too much. I think the question over the next number of years is really what is money, not just as a medium of exchange, but a storehold of wealth.
We're kicking off Friday with an apt and timely weigh-in from one of the world's greatest investors in history, Ray Dalio, explaining that despite the crypto carnage, this thing called Bitcoin actually makes sense. And he goes so far as to say that we're in a new era where we're even redefining what money truly is, what a store of value constitutes. And in this world, something like Bitcoin is attracting a lot of mindshare. Now, he doesn't go so far as to say Bitcoin is the answer. In fact, he actually proposes a system of digital fiat that's actually non-fiat, like a store of value that doesn't devalue. Of course, he might find himself logicking backwards into something like Bitcoin over time, but that's not really the point. The point is that we have one of the greatest investors in history, despite the worst carnage in the history of crypto, lending the audience what can only be constituted as a straight up bullish take on the future of money and the influence of cryptocurrency in that history. Let's take a moment and pour one out for the GOAT, Ray Dalio, as he almost seems to be flipping into a Bitcoin and crypto bull. Now, of course, at times like this, it's very intoxicating to look at things like this, which show that effectively from about where we are in time-wise, Bitcoin normally goes on sort of mega colossal runs. And of course, if we do get a run up to $600,000 to $1 million, I promise you, people are not going to be arguing over whether you bought at 16K or 20K, because the people buying at 69K and 100K and 300K will all be there begging and wishing and praying that they were in your seat right now. And that brings us to really the question, which way are we going? Elliot, you've been making confusing content. You said that we were in a bit of a rally. You said that we had transitory Goldilocks. You said that the rally could continue, but then you said you hadn't put all your money in. What does it all mean? And can you just spoon feed us generational wealth? Well, I got a little bit of news for you. Well, yesterday it seemed my video and the harsh tone of it seemed to ruffle some feathers, although it was appreciated by the vast majority. The fact is that I want people with their eyes wide open on this new run, not just expecting for everything to be easy, but understanding just how difficult this journey may be. So yes, my goal of the video yesterday and my goal in general is to wake people up to not just the opportunities, because we all know what's possible in crypto land, incredible amounts of gains, disproportionately fast amount of multiplication of wealth, but the problem is too few people understand the cyclical nature of crypto and the true dangers of the downside. So I'm going to be doing my best to slam those dangers into your face, not just at the beginning of runs, not just throughout rallies, not just at the bottom of markets, but really throughout, helping people understand that it's really on you to take control of your own portfolio. You should not be listening to a YouTube channel to make your financial decisions. So yes, my intense tone will continue, but it's worth noting that I've made my guidance pretty clear. I told you I was playing with a small percent of my portfolio, enjoying this rally as it was clearly a unique impulse that was different from other rallies before. It was worth playing. Am I saying the bottom's in? No, I haven't said those words. Am I saying the bottom's not in? Well, I haven't said that either, because to be honest, I don't know. But what am I doing in the meantime? I am managing risk and deploying capital in a way that does not ruin my entire strategy in the event that the market does find new lows. For example, Bitcoin is down slightly on the day, and this is as jobs data came in super duper strong and inflation is falling. So the market is actually interpreting in mainstream markets this as bearish. Meanwhile, some of the worst battered and bruised mega tech stocks like Meta actually had a great Q4 earnings and are up literally astronomically, with Mark Zuckerberg now on paper as the single holder of the biggest wealth net worth gain in a single day based on the astronomical rise of Facebook stock, Meta stock rather, in response to their Q4 earnings. Now, I said several times on Twitter Spaces and even here on YouTube that I thought Meta was dramatically oversold, and as you all know, I'm super bullish on the metaverse. I believe Marky Mark will be laughing down the track as his company has been one of the first to lean in to one of the biggest industries that will ever exist. As Markets and Mayhem explains, he says breaking NFP at 517K versus 193K, unemployment at 3.4%, wages a bit higher, markets not happy. Effectively, this is the good news is bad news part of the market where markets are throwing a tantrum. But the thing is, if you listen to Ray Dalio, one of the greatest investors ever, he's saying he doesn't really think Bitcoin and crypto have anything to do with anything else. Now, they've been trading in lockstep with the macro bear market up to this point, but the question is, will mega cap tech or Bitcoin or some of these narratives start to break free of each other? The answer is I don't know, and neither do you. But I made the decision a few weeks ago to start playing in the market because I wanted some exposure, and I'm doing it in a way that does not ruin my chance of continuing to either add to this rally or completely being okay if the rally does fizzle out, like it has every single time up until this point. The big thing that I want you to understand is that if we end up in one of these scenarios where we end up with a multi-year bull trend, there are so many opportunities to make money in this market that your only goal is not overcommitting before we enter into the bull phase. I want to hammer this home. The gains get bigger as the market cycle continues. The best thing that you could be doing if you believe this is a new market cycle is to observe which coins are getting the most attention in the market, reverse engineer their characteristics to establish a framework for finding new tokens like the ones pumping hard. Now, we've seen a return to DeFi, classic DeFi, and especially this new Canto-inspired Layer 1 DeFi. I'm not shilling Canto, not telling you to buy Canto, but it's objectively the biggest gainer and most exciting project consistently day over day. So maybe take a look at why that project's doing well. We've also seen a lot of excitement around Layer 2s and quite a bit of reignition of excitement within the gaming space. All I'm going to say is you should be able to start looking at charts, finding the big winners, and instead of just jumping in and throwing money at them, jump in and throw your attention into understanding them, understand why they're pumping, and try to develop a formula for finding other coins like it. This is how you laugh at the trend, consistently make money, regardless of even if the market surprises you at first, and understand that as the trend continues, the gains get bigger and bigger percentage-wise. It's absolutely critical that you wake up to the way this market works. Don't just follow influencers and creators like me. You should be charting your own path through this industry. So have I been overly cautious? Sure. If that was the bottom, did I miss it? Yes, I did not buy all my chips at the bottom. If that was the bottom. Again, we don't know if that's true, but I can tell you confidently that throughout the bull trend, once it is very obvious that the bottom is in, that I will be aggressively allocating to all of the good narratives in the market, riding the new trends, and making astronomical gains from the market. But I will be presenting this stuff and all of the risks and dangers and all of the literal biggest mistakes you can make as a trader, literally laughing at some of the easy ways that you can imitate market trends, ride them, but also understanding how not to get caught in some of crypto's biggest traps. I'm going to be slamming those big warnings into your face throughout this entire run. So expect for a very prickly tone, because as people rush back into this market looking for easy money, I want them to be prepared with the tools they need to survive. Everyone knows surviving long-term in this industry is the way that you truly get rich. It's not one play, it's not one coin, it's the totality of the knowledge, research, and skills you amass by being here for an extended amount of time. And you cannot get those if you get wrecked very quickly. So my goal going forward is longevity and making sure that people stay in this market as long as possible, not trying just to draw attention to all of the good that can come out, but really highlighting all of the big dangers and how to avoid those. I believe that avoiding the negatives is the absolute best way to get rich in crypto, because eventually, if you're here long enough, you'll be here for the good times. I hope that makes sense to you guys, and shout out to the absolute GOAT, Ray Dalio, on being so bullish on our beloved cryptos. I'm not going to be going away. Remember how early I brought you guys into the DeFi wave, how aggressively I pushed NFTs and gaming way before it was cool, and you've got to love imposters up here on the CoinGecko trending charts, also with Steady Stack Titans, which is a project created within Neo Tokyo. You gotta love seeing that on the trending list here, along with some other gaming coins. Again, I'm not saying to buy any of this stuff. You should never buy anything you see just on a YouTube video. Please use these videos as just a starting point. Learn to think for yourself, build your own thesis. Eventually, you'll be early to one of the big movers in the market. That's been my experience, and I believe almost anyone can replicate this success if they have enough time in the market. With that said, I'm EllioTrades. Expect a whole lot more content from me, and I'll see you very soon on the next episode.